Rolling on the right once again with Temur Delver, and on the left, joining us for the first time in a while, is Jurgen on Sultai. Sounds like a lot of laughing in the background. Mishra's Bauble. We're going to take a look before fetching. If we like it a lot, we'll leave it there.
Somebody draw your upkeep.
Darth says, I used to play Elves, went on hiatus back when Ren and 6 was printed. Okay, that's a few years back. And a string of printings, including Bowmaster, made Elves unplayable. Still came back, played blue deck, Mecha Spawn, made those decks unplayable. You know what, Darth? You've had it rough.
I'll have to guess what I wanted to keep.
Here's a Thoughtseize. Dragon's Rage Channeler, Questing Druid, Murktide. Oh my god. Volcanic Island ×2 and a Wasteland.
Interesting. Yeah,
Legacy players will have Wasteland sitting right in front of them, but they'll see Murktide and be like, oh my god, this card is crazy. Questing Druid selected there. Interesting. I feel like you're supposed to take DRC there, right?
Wait, no.
You got it wrong, Jurgen.
Brainstorm triggered.
Wasteland fired off, Underground Sea down. And a Volcanic Island. Darth says you can kill DRC, Questing Druid is card advantage. I guess if you have removal in hand, yeah, then the Questing Druid is a little bit more of a priority. That's a fair point.
I mean, one good waste deserves another. So.
Sounds good.
All right, Wasteland on Volcanic.
Yep.
I mean, they're all
Yep.
Ponder Surveil. This is the power of Dragon's Rage Channeler, though, filling up that graveyard. Make that Murktide arrive a little bit sooner than it would have otherwise. But if Jurgen's hand is something like double Fatal Push, double Go for the Throat, you know, just like load it up with removal, maybe you take the Questing Druid. I don't know. We'll see what the YouTube commenters think.
You can know anything. Literally anything. You can know 5 cards on it.
I will pass turn.
Let's see. Yep. 5 cards. 6 cards.
6 cards in hand for Jurgen.
Swing for 3. I have Delirium now.
Take 3, 15.
1, 2, 3. And I'll pass.
Why would you turn that?
Okay, Dragon's Rage Channeler Delirious gets in for 3. Basic Island, okay.
Draw.
Basic Island pass.
So all of you guys have been. Wait, then I'm gonna play that way. I can defuse.
Wait, no one has diffused that.
Yeah, no one has.
Another Dragon's Rage Channeler. This is going to be a fast clock, folks. Attack it for 3. Aggro.
Second main. Yep. Delver.
And then a Delver. Uh-oh.
And pass. Brainstorm at the end of your turn. Sounds good.
End step Brainstorm. Yikes. Darth says if Jurgen doesn't have removal, then DRC was absolutely the take. Just figured the Sultai deck would have plenty of removal. I played against Jurgen at this event. The deck does have a lot of removal. I was playing Maverick, and I think Jurgen sided in 4 Pernicious Deed post-sideboard, and I got absolutely destroyed.
And then I'll pass turn.
Goes the Brainstorm.
You didn't have a resource kit.
Draw this card.
Like, you clear 1 Pernicious Deed, you think you're good, and then he had, like, 3 more. I just could not get anything going.
That's correct now. 11? Look at this one.
Opera Love Song. I don't remember what that one is. Let's see if... I don't think MTG Bot's going to have that. No. Kiviuk, thank you for the sub. 8 months. Appreciate it. Bowmaster is in. Most likely going to shoot Delver, I assume. Delver down. Jurgen's still in trouble here. Those 3-power flyers.
Okay. Tap.
Roland loves those 3-power flyers.
Swing in the air.
6/6.
1, 2.
Taking 6, dropping to 5. Yikes.
Yep.
Upkeep. Drop. Move combat. Attack 3.
Don't think. Well, I guess Roland still has that Murktide in hand, but I don't know if we want to do that right now. It would likely shut off Delirium, it looks like. Sirius says, new DRC art is awesome. Definitely like it more than the OG. Yeah, there's a new Dragon's Rage channeler. There are a few different Dragon's Rage channelers now. I think all of them are excellent, honestly. Like, every single one of them.
So my next spell can't be countered. Tap. Next spell can't be countered.
Roland trying to figure out if we can get this Murktide in without compromising the game, it seems. Murktide will hit the stack. Murktide, everybody.
So, these
Okay.
4.
There's like that Eternal Weekend Dragon's Rage channeler, right? That one is pretty fire, too.
Kind of good.
Alright, sounds good.
So it looks like Roland just played a 3/3 Murktide. Kept Delirium, it seems.
Something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
Looted Delta.
Yeah.
Crash.
Okay.
I don't know how to.
Oh, yep. It's like up or down.
Sure.
Okay, Pluto Delta correct. Jurgen drops to 4.
Against better judgment. Yeah. Against my better judgment. By you.
Ooh, okay. Alright. Interesting.
One card of D. Well, wouldn't that be great right now?
Yeah, staring down 3 flyers.
Well, we're gonna start with our Baleful Strix.
That'll do it.
Okay, Baleful Strix is something, but we need to deal with 2 other flyers right now. Okay, Fatal Push on another.
Push down with my sleeve. Go.
Okay, on tap.
Death to bolt, death to bolt, death to bolt, death to bolt.
Jurgen saying it, we're dead to bolt. Mishra's Bauble, Surveil. Keeps it on top. Uh-oh.
Let's figure out what we got going on.
Nice.
Okay.
Shouldred's Edict on top. Okay. Okay.
That one.
Unholy Heat on the Baleful Strix. Gets the scoop. Roland takes game 1.
I guess if you force there, then.
I stand by my decision to take the DRC.
What are you doing in New York?
All right, rolling up a game here.
Nice.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yeah, yeah. Hell yeah.
7. That
I think here last month.
Oh, nice. So you did like a full week.
Yeah, like for a week, and I will stay till Saturday.
Oh, wow.
And like I never
Missy
played
pass?
next to you because I'm.
All right, Mr. Rainforest to start the game for Jurgen, who's likely a little bit more prepared here for game 2 after sideboarding. Twitch chat wondering if Murktide or Barrowglyph keeps us up at night more. I think the more scary card in today's Legacy is Barrowglyph.
Arrives to everywhere.
Deck on. Cards.
And these people, like, with the horrible track records of calling for bans, like the people that called for banning Uro, are in shambles over the Barrowglyph.
Like
But you guys have big events in Spain, right? Like there's like 10 tax returns. Right?
Underground Mortuary?
Yeah.
Trigger.
Surveil.
one of the biggest.
Huge, yeah.
Mystic Sanctuary.
Sure.
Mystic Sanctuary dumped into the trash, not very good at the moment.
Yeah.
That was a mortuary. Roland cracks a Scalding Tarn.
Now I'm dead.
Oh, it's
Let's
super
see.
cool.
Let's see how far this.
Yeah, there was a stifle in there. Chard, thank you for the sub with Prime. Appreciate it.
She
Yeah,
resolves.
use one.
Looks like a first-time sub.
Followed by a bobble. Surveil trigger.
Trigger. Sure.
Dragon's Rage Channeler, Surveil.
Yard.
Dumps Mishra's Bobble into the yard. Dragon's Rage Channeler again. This card did a lot of damage in game 1. Another Mishra's Bobble, Surveil.
Let's see what you're working with. Cool.
Force of Will on top, okay.
Usually there's a lot of Italian guys who play here.
Yes.
There's like 3 or 4
I
Italian
will
guys
also
who play here like every week.
look at my
For
stuff
whatever reason, they're just not
and
here.
pass it over here. I'll draw.
I know some of the typical sideboarding has changed over the last couple of years after Bowmaster and Land Cyclers and everything that has changed Legacy over the last couple of years for these blue decks. I'm still not a big Force of Will post sideboard against the Tempo deck guy. How do you feel about leaving in Force of Wills against Roland's deck right now, chat? With Bloom Command going after Dragon's Rage Channeler.
-3, -1, and then I'll mill 3 in return.
Like, what do you want to be Force of Willing against Roland?
Cards in.
3.
You can, in theory, kill any creature. Fatal Push, etc. Depends if you'll be Beanstalk or not. This is not a Beanstalk deck, but that could be true.
Cool. So, instead, 19,
Darth saying, as breakfast, we leave in Force, basically to protect Nadu, citing out Cephalid combo, it sounds like. I could see that. There's still a Witherbloom command on the stack trying to eliminate Dragon's Rage Channeler and I guess Mill and Surveil after a force pitching Murktide. Yeah, a lot of the cards in the Delver deck interact against the breakfast combo. So Nadu is a little bit more reliable post-sideboarding. That makes sense.
2, 3.
All right, Witherbloom Command is going to resolve after a force-pitching Rakshasa's Bargain. Dragon's Rage Channeler down. And I think the... yeah, there was a land return to hand. I missed it. Yeah, this Sultai mid-range not having Pyroblast changes some of the sideboarding decisions. Roland also does not have Bowmaster, which is a consideration for sideboarding. There's a Wasteland for Roland. It might be hitting something here. Nope. Waiting.
Seek the beast.
All right, Seek the Beast.
Oh, got it. This is the card that makes it work. Got it.
That's pretty good. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm with Hilarious here. I think I would cut all forces in this matchup if I'm in Jurgen's seat.
Yes.
So 2 lands were hit by the Seek the Beast. There's Pernicious Deed. This card ruined me in my match against Jurgen. He had multiple copies post-sideboard, and I just could not fight through multiple Pernicious Deeds as Maverick. You detonate it once, it's like, okay, I can rebuild a little bit, but, you know, I play another Mother Ruins and another creature and blow it up again. I'm like, I can't win this game. Ban Pernicious Deed. All right, Questing Druid's coming in. Ponder, trigger the Druid. Gets its first counter after coming in off an adventure. The Questing Druid, still a really cool card in Legacy. I'm a big fan of this card. I hope it continues to stay alive in this format. As most of you know, it's like kind of competitive to get slots in decks these days. Amount of new cards relevant to Legacy has been a little bit higher over the last couple of months than it had been the prior year before that, at least from standard sets, ignoring Modern Horizons, etc. Goes after Volcanic Island, the more critical land on Roland's side. That makes sense. Green is not really that important for Roland. Pernicious Deed still waits.
Storm. Okay, tendrils. Got it. Okay. Awesome.
All right, Roland's hanging on to that wasteland. It appears just to be a waste at this point rather than a wasteland. As far as Roland keeping track of mana. Questing Druid attacking. Brainstorm. That'll trigger the Questing Druid. Don't forget that. Question I like to ask the comments, the chat. Giant, huge Legacy event in your area tomorrow. What deck are you playing? What deck are you playing if you're playing tomorrow? Roland just gifted 10 subs. Our sub goal of 310 was reached. Thank you, Roland. Roland's in the chat. Roland's on the screen. Roland's everywhere. Thank you. Thank you, Roland. Roland's moderating the 90s MTG Discord. Roland's doing it all. 285 now. Gifted subs for Roland, number 2 on our all-time leaderboard. Thank you, Roland. Really appreciate you.
That's actually pretty good. A bit, but at the same time, that's probably better than getting most of it.
Lord has arrived.
Because then I would have actually shoot back.
So, so a 3/3 Questing Druid attacking here. Questing Druid sees the Pernicious Deed on the other side of the board. If it becomes too big of a problem, the Pernicious Deed will pop.
Is it tempo?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's Cory. He's a
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Okay, Mishra's Bauble. That doesn't trigger the Questing Druid. Belful Strix on top of the deck. That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, a lot of that here too.
Got Moon Stompy, Sultai, Breakfast, people they'd say in their hypothetical giant Legacy event tomorrow. What else did people say? I think that was it.
You as well. Oh, yeah, got.
Yeah.
All right, Roland's access to red mana is back.
Who's got more threats? Who's got more removal?
Mark Hughes, thank you for the reset with Prime 29 months. Appreciate it.
Ponder. Sure.
Okay, there's a Delver. That triggers the Questing Druid. Mark Hughes says, I don't even play Legacy anymore, but still here. Very nice. Mr. Vargas says, hello, Chris. Hey, chat. What's up, Mr. Vargas?
One card.
Mark Hughes heard about the Final Fantasy set and sold their collection and quit Legacy. Pernicious Deed is detonated. Creatures are gone.
Tropical Island. Delver Secrets.
Oh,
Yep.
All right, it was MH3. MH3 ruined the whole thing, everybody. There you have it.
Yeah, you're gonna win it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'll have to have some code for their pre-modern Thursdays. Maybe like the first couple weeks they started it, just to get ready for OxyCon. And I went 2-1, so
Yeah.
I got.
All right, Delver of Secrets for Roland. Ponder for Roland. Could set up flipping here. Bowmaster in response. All right, well, Delver might not be around too long. Let's see.
Yep. Yep.
Voodoo says decided to play in yesterday's challenge, and that was a mistake. Just a casual 30% blue-black Reanimator. Wow. What was the win rate, though?
Seems like some of the stat there is like that and like
I'll ping the Delver. Ponder will shot the next.
Okay, Delver down. Ponder's going to resolve. Cole says MH2 and MH3 did ruin everything, though. Wow. That's ruined.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to end steps.
Zoom says finally got over here from YouTube. Would probably run 12 posts since I haven't played in forever. Okay, that's a good plan. This is the real show. Thanks for being here. Darth says blue-black Reanimator sucks. Every time I play against the deck, they just do nothing. LOL.
Second main, I'll try to cast Uro.
Here is Uro. This card is crazy, chat.
There is still like a push for like seeing you were a date to go play board games. Especially for people that don't drink, especially people that don't like play.
That resolves.
Uro is going to resolve. That'll be pretty good for Jurgen here if it ever escapes.
I'll crack this now.
Taller Eric has arrived. Really disappointed to show up and not see Oops. Isn't it 90% of the meta? Yeah, it's 90% of the meta, but it has like a 14% win rate. According to the stats I saw. Roland wondering, anyone really managed to make Rakshasa's bargain work yet? I've played the card a little bit now in Beanstalk decks, and it's pretty nuts, in my opinion.
I'll try to cast a light.
But I only played in like 4 events with it. Hilaria says, how would a legacy format without cards from supplemental products look like? Would be quite a blast. Actually, like, people tried that with Heritage or whatever, and it was boring AF.
Storm is like hard.
It was terrible.
And
We kind of take the supplemental products for granted, if I'm being honest. A lot of the cards, like the ones that nobody pays attention to, that nobody complains about, are excellent for Legacy. Life from the Loam fired off here. And missing those cards and just having the standard cards, just not a good format, in my opinion. You're going to get rid of Baleful Strix? Like, come on. These are just not serious solutions to the Legacy format. Here's Murktide.
Yeah, so 17.
okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. And
7/7 Murktide hitting here. Hitting the table. Hilaria says, anyone feeling like Legacy rotation format rotates every Modern Horizons? Yeah, I mean, like, Legacy evolves fast now, and that's just the way it is, and, like, you either like that or you don't. I like it, actually, a lot. Mystic Sanctuary putting Shieldred's Edict on top. That'll be a solution to Murktide, potentially. And, or you don't like it and you take an off-ramp to pre-modern like Marcuse. And both options are valid.
Or they are a bit scared. But you know, bring their stuff into 2026. You know, the later forward.
The thing to fight over is the
Integrate it
back
into their no matter what this is.
I mean, once it gets past that, once you've got full grip,
But, you know, every once in a while I'll see, like, the takes about ban all supplemental sets, ban Modern Horizons. You're going to ban Dalthy Voidwalker? Like, really? Like, be quiet. You're going to ban Leovold? You're going to ban... Come on. You're going to ban Broadside Bombardiers? He's just not serious about it.
Change to lose. Now, usually I keep hand. I should keep hand with counter, with some counter.
You're going to ban Lorien Revealed?
Sometimes you just have
I think I've made my point.
Force away.
but they I have to
Shoulder Edict getting fired off.
come back with that. But it's more probably that I just make the 19 and that then I pick the blue card. So because I need this combination, this one and this one.
That's the combo.
I have tools to search them.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do. So it's like when it works, it works.
Yeah.
But sometimes you die.
Alright. Yeah.
Force pitching days. Okay, Shoulder's Edict is countered. Murktide will stick around. Oro on the other side of the board, though. Upkeep fetch here. Thank yous for the gifted subs by Roland still coming in. AJ Potato wondering who my favorite Final Fantasy character is. I don't know any Final Fantasy characters by name. Even after looking at the previews, I don't even know one. I have no idea. Cloud? Is that a character?
I watched the first season.
I don't know what's happening.
7.
Murktide gets in.
Super good.
Untap.
Oh, right.
I don't think I've ever played against that deck. It's weird.
Actually, it's the first time I play.
There is some weird cactus thing, and the cactus thing looks really cool.
I don't play in Digital.
Yeah.
Uro versus Murktide, folks.
Yeah.
And Bowmaster on the table. This is the best format.
I had one Gorilla and Dark Vision was I don't think I'm still having your
Another Shieldred's Edict. That'll obviously get rid of the Delver, not the Murktide. So Delver down. Roland happy to have that second creature around. Attacking with the team. Uro's going to trigger. Going up to 11. Not the worst. Puts that Uro land into play. Big hit for Roland. Roland drops to 1. Roland's in big trouble now. Okay, game 2 goes to Jurgen. We're moving on to game 3. Nicely played. Uro beats Murktide, everybody. Add that to your spreadsheet. Roland keeping 7 here. Sounds like both players kept 7. Scott, thank you for the resub, 35 months. Scott, one of our best people. What's up, Scott? Dragon's Rage Channeler, Mishra's Bauble. Gonna take a look. Bowmaster on top of the deck. Yeah, Uro's still a problem for tempo, it's true.
Interesting.
Yeah, Uro was in Homelands, exactly.
That's like a good call. I feel like it's very contextual fun. Oh, it's definitely. I mean, it's not like you're supposed to.
Okay, Ponder. Serval. Thinking back to game 1, Dragon's Rage Channeler was such a important part of game 1. There's one on the board here for Roland. No removal spell was fired off yet. It's going to start filling up that graveyard. It's going to have 3 types after this Ponder.
I heard Barrow goes.
you think this will work, or?
I'll respond.
Uh-oh. Response to a fetch.
I'll get a Shrop and Stick.
Stifling Roland Scalding Tarn fetch here. Thank you, Scott. Really appreciate the help. Scott drops 10 gifted subs as well. Thank you, Scott. Really do appreciate it. Scott number 1 on our all-time leaderboard. 350 gifted subs now on the channel. Thank you, Scott. Scott also just unlocked a new gifter leader badge. Thank you, thank you.
Totally, man. Thanks. It's awesome. Good games.
So Roland's force of willing to stifle. Left the card on. Nope. Milled the card into the or put the card into the graveyard with Surveil.
Yeah. Oh, the misrise. Yeah.
Searching Temur.
Like the idea.
Scott has all kinds of badges.
Omni show, and I just like the idea of like if everyone's playing.
When you're jumping into the chat, make sure your badges look nice, everybody. Come on.
Your
I'll
force.
take
It's a classy chat.
Yeah, I don't know. For your days. Question.
Okay, Delirious Dragon's Rage Channeler gets in there. Delirium has been achieved. Passing it back to Jurgen now.
I've never tried with green. Now,
Baleful Strix, okay. Pyroblast on that. Pretty good for Roland. That Baleful Strix would have gotten in the way for sure. Countering that Baleful Strix was huge.
So you're doing like it's like blue black and you splash red.
Dragon's Rage Channeler gets in again.
like my friend is playing blue black. And now he's splashing for more.
Yeah. Pyroblast.
13 life now for Jurgen. Gonna take this Dragon's Rage Channeler a little while longer, but it does need to be dealt with for sure.
After you've drawn.
Draw step. Roland's making a move. Oh, never mind. Is Roland holding a surgical, thinking about getting rid of Baleful Strix for good or something, maybe? Maybe a questing druid. Uro. Seek the Beast, it turns out.
I've tried to play with stockups, but it isn't run because you have to a little bit down
Twitch chat very impressed with Roland's knowledge of German words. Roland's impressive, everybody. Dragon's Rage Channeler and Polluted Delta found here. Uro is going to resolve. Uro will head to the trash. Uro will, without a doubt, be a problem. Roland referencing Jon Snow in the chat.
Do you run the 4 versus a combo or just the 1?
just play versus and one
Okay, fetching here. Looks like we're putting questing druid on the stack.
Yeah.
There's questing druid. Probably going to cast this other Dragon's Rage Channeler afterwards.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. No, it's cool. He's a guy who usually plays around here. He's not around tonight, but I mean, I think I saw him Friday. He's playing.
Not yet.
Okay, so because of that, once the space rates are moving to more prismatic endings and less swords.
Surgical targeting the.
All right, Roland has the surgical. Going after Uro. This is huge. Uro is hit. The hand is revealed. Double Pernicious Deed, Bowmaster, Ponder. There's those multiple Pernicious Deeds I was whining about earlier.
So there's a surveillance trigger on the side.
For like months now. Ever since Temur came out.
I should have probably waited for that before.
That's okay. Yeah, that's right.
Because
I'm not
that
gonna
is
like
a
use
really
any
good card.
information from it.
It's like
I meant
really, I mean, obviously it's
1, 2.
sorcery speed, it's
Further-
like, doesn't
did I
really
get
get
myself ready?
everything, but
No,
it gets a
17
lot
is
of
from your
things,
fetch.
Sorry,
like
sorry.
planeswalkers.
Thank you. Sorry.
A lot of talk about languages in the chat. Do we have anyone watching currently learning a language? Like actively right now?
Or still cutter deck?
Your meta, you have the one that plays Curse. Like,
So the surgical triggered a questing druid there. The hand is double pernicious deed, bowmaster ponder. The pernicious deeds are obviously going to be a problem. Assuming we get that far in this game. Another Dragon's Rage Channeler, triggering the questing druid, attacking for 3.
It's kind of cool that they're otters, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, Roland needs Cabal therapy right now. Roland's been learning English for 40 years.
D?
Plays the pernicious deed. That makes a lot of sense. Does Roland have a way to stop it? Uh-oh.
4, 6, 10. That's
Bolt on top. Roland gets it. Bolt, bolt. Got him. GG's. And Roland loves the lightning bolt emoji. Wow. Let's head up another poll for the chat to decide which match next. That was a good one. Which match next? Your options will be Izzet Cutter versus Doomsday. Izzet Cutter versus Temur Delver. Breakfast versus Doomsday. Or Doomsday versus Dimir Tempo, Dimir Murktide. 1 minute. Get your votes in. Our Discord's up on your screen. Join the Discord if you're not in the Discord. We also have a Patreon. We have a merch shop. I made a post before. So here on Twitch, we have subs. In order to maintain a revenue split with Twitch, I have to maintain a certain number of subs. We fell a little bit short this month. Gifted subs, prime subs don't count towards this number. You can see our plus total somewhere on our channel if you're curious. I mean, it's changed since I posted this like an hour or two ago. If you're able, no matter when you watch this, subscribe to our Twitch channel. Thank you. That is really it. Okay. Harry is here. Harry excited for a Thursday stream. Close vote on this poll. Out of time. Lord contributed 1,500 channel points. Izzet Cutter versus Rug Delver is up next. Let's do it. Diving in.
8? No. I'll take it. I jinxed it. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
What did Hank play in Legacy?
Sneak and show.
All right, Roland moves to the other side of the table with Temur Delver. Roland, stay on one side. On the other side of the table is Dave. Is Dave Kaplan on Izzet Cutter? Izzet Cutter?
He loves that card.
This should be a good one.
I didn't get to play against Hank. He was like on the other side of the bracket, basically.
Roland, when I tell you to sit in a spot, just stay there. Stop moving around. These people. We are live, Harry. Harry wondering if we're live.
Yeah, yesterday's metagame was interesting. There's at least a couple of there's Merfolk in there, and also
Hilaria saying we need a Roland deck tech video. Okay. Roland, make a deck tech video.
and he destroyed
Looks like we're in the middle of mulligans here. Force of Phil, thank you for the sub at Prime. 50 months for Force of Phil. That's a long time. What's up, Force of Phil?
Bolt combo him. Did not feel good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right, looks like we're still in the process of taking these mulligans. Hurry up.
You keeping?
It's on you. I already mulliganed.
Oh, gotcha.
Not sure who we're waiting on here.
Let's see. Okay.
Okay, it looked like Kaplan took a mold of 6. Roland kept 7, it seems. So Delver pass for Kaplan. SF announcing this should be a fun match. I agree. 2 top players in our community for sure. Blue to Delta cracked here for Roland. And at the end of the day, folks, and I have the data, the spreadsheets to back this up, the tempo decks facing off is your favorite to watch. I know. I know.
Good. Sure. Yes. Draw.
No flip of the Delver. Dragon's Rage Channeler on the other side. Delver will attack, offering a trade. Roland is not interested. Playing Ponder. Harry with a great question. What is tempo? You know what, Harry? We still have no idea, if we're being honest. I guess tempo is just like a feeling. You just like feel it. Flooded Strand getting cracked here by Kaplan. Darth announces Wizards didn't test tempo for 1v1. Mark Hughes says Sylvan Library is tempo. Very interesting. Can a mono white deck tempo, chat? Here's Dragon's Rage Channeler. Roland says tempo is marching to the beat of your own drum. You know what? You're right. Scott says, I realize gifted subs don't help with the sub points. Need to stop giving people a free ride. You know what? Thank you, Scott, for all the support. I really do appreciate it. Scott's holding us down. It does mean a lot. But Scott's calling all of you out. If you can afford duels, sub. Scott's screaming at everyone. Thank you, Scott. Really appreciate it. So a Chain Lightning took out a DRC. Chain Lightning, folks. 2025. From what? The Legends set? Another Delver for Kaplan. Okay, okay.
Oh, I know. I wanted to show you.
Okay, a Daze on the Delver. Cervelle left it there. This is getting interesting already. Kaplan wants this Delver to flip. Roland has 3 types in the yard right now. Bolt Delver, Cervelle. Well, I guess that Delver will never flip. Dumps Delver into the yard. There's Delirium.
Yep, swing for 3.
It's Kama says you can proxy duels, you can't proxy subs. You know what? You're right. Hilaria says playing more Magic than your opponent is tempo. You know what? You're right. I'm just going to keep telling everybody they're right. All right, Ponder surveils a brainstorm into the graveyard. Rolling with a tropical island. Showing the third color in the deck. The green. A very small splash with Questing Druid.
That's my coverage. Good.
Uh-oh. Kaplan doesn't do anything that turn, just passes it back. Swing in for 3. Kaplan drops to 9. Yeah, Roland saying Cap got stuck here. So far, a little stuck. There were some fights earlier in this game, though. Darth is calling this one. Hilarious with a great question. Is casting Fog tempo? You know what? It is. Mono green decks tempo like crazy.
Did you already give me a...
I wasn't paying attention. I think I hit you with the Delver twice.
Okay. I think that's accurate. One time.
Mishra's Bauble, Surveil. Leaves it on top. Takes a look. Volcanic Island on top. Kaplan might need that.
Swing for 3.
Drops Kaplan to 6 here with the attack. Sidenorna jumps into the chat, says NYC wishes it was LA. Wow. Wow. Sidenorna's trying to start back up the East Coast West Coast rivalry.
Pass to you. Drawing RP.
There's Volcanic Island. We wish we had Otani. Here's Murktide Regent.
Go. EOT. That's it. Surveil turn.
End step Petty Theft on the Murktide. Force that pitching Murktide. Trying to protect Murktide here. Critical that this thing sticks around, it seems. Given the current situation. I agree with forcing Petty Theft here. Alright. Brazenbauer should be going into the trash. Yep. Days would have been a blowout there for sure. Looks like Roland's holding a bolt, I think. But the Murktide is in the way here. All right, just passing it back. This Murktide is a pain in the butt.
Waste.
Wasteland on the Volk makes a lot of sense. Bolt, Surveil.
Yep.
Drops Kaplan to 2. Oh, another Bolt. All right, well, that is the game.
6 consecutive cards I couldn't cast.
Yeah, Alright, you're on the plate. Good luck.
All right, rolling up a game. Bolt, Bolt. Scott just subbed at tier 2. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, thank you. Yes, you can upgrade your tier if you want to help with our pro points goal, sub points goal, whatever it's called. Plus points goal. I forgot what it was called for a second. All right, Wasteland on the Volk after a Delver. Mishra's Bauble.
What you got? Cool. Alright, draw your RP. Sure you don't. Don't flip.
All right, Roland knew that thing was not going to flip. Attack for 1 with the Delver. Cracking a Misty now.
Yeah. Is that infantry or anything? Yeah. I don't know why that was set already. 19 before.
fetch.
Yeah, so you're at 19.
Kaplan digs up another Volk.
Dearson.
Okay, Dragon's Rage Channeler is in.
Good.
Waste.
Okay, Wasteland on the Volk. It's blown up. Kaplan has the 2 creatures, though. Delver flips, revealing a Ponder. No Delirium yet, just 1 type in the yard for Kaplan right now. Attacks for 4. No land drop. Kind of a funny situation here. If Roland could start picking off these attackers, Roland can stabilize and take this game over. But Kaplan in a favored position at the very at this very moment. I guess. Extremely fragile though. Blue Delta getting cracked. Yeah, Roland needs a Tabernacle right now. I've been telling people at the locals, put 4 Tabernacles in the main for the Delver matchup.
I'm gonna play a Soul Guide Lantern and then take out land. Yeah.
People are like, how do I beat these Otter Monk decks? Put 4 Tabernacles in the main. Nobody listens to me. Soul Guide Lantern. Get rid of a Volk.
Yeah.
Mishra's Bauble dumped into the graveyard. That's a Hydroblast on top. Okay. It's not bad. I really do like Kaplan's playmat. The old Nickelodeon characters as Magic characters or the other way around, whatever. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I watched Rugrats as a kid. Hey Arnold. Doug. I guess Doug was like... Is Doug like Universes Beyond for Rugrats?
Keep going to bounce the Delver back to your board.
All right. Petty Theft on the Insectile Aberration. Goes on an adventure.
Attack for 1.
Just an attack for 1 from this DRC. Wasteland on the Volk is pretty huge here. Kaplan still with no lands on the board. The Insectile Aberration floating at the top of your screen is not in play. Soul Guide Lantern is in play, though. Could be a way to shut off Delirium at a later time. Okay, the Hydroblast we knew about gets fired off. Dragon's Rage Channeler down. Roland prioritize that for this turn. I like it. Flooded Strand. Dave Kaplan with no permanents in play right now. Not very good. That good position we were in a couple of turns ago on Kaplan's side, like I said, was really fragile. Roland has managed it. And now a Flooded Strand for Kaplan. Kaplan has a land again. Plays another Delver. Passes it back to Roland. There's a Delver on the other side of the board now. Roland is at 9 life. You know, these Lightning Bolt decks, once you get below 10, you are in... Oh, well. All right, Bolt takes out the Delver immediately. I was going to say, like, 1 attack, double Bolt, you know, that kind of thing, like we saw earlier in this match. Now Roland plays a Delver. Roland with a creature now. Soul Guide Lantern. Not only does it shut off Delirium, but prevents a possible Murktide on the next turn for Kaplan. Kaplan's going to ponder here.
Where do you want to hide it, right? Because if you want to go all the way back, you can't exactly run red more interaction. So it's like, but the thing is, it's like,
Ponder Shuffle, looking for answers, looking for stuff. Didn't find it on top. Just passes the turn now. Delver will flip, revealing Pyroblast. That Pyroblast is probably going to come in handy in this game. Now Roland can go on the offensive. Tax for 3. Brainstorm. Roland with a great question. Chris, how do we get you to play Delver? You know what? I need some Tamios. I need a 4th Volk. I don't know. I am missing some cards.
That's good.
All right, there's a Brainstorm for Kaplan. Roland will be at SCG Con Indy this weekend. Yeah, Roland's always wheeling and dealing magic cards. Scott says those are solvable problems. That's true. That's true. Some of the people watching with deep knowledge of 90s MTG lore know that I played much Delver years ago. But these days I've been playing non-blue decks for the most part.
well, it's more like,
Spec you impressed with the white border Brainstorm.
because I can just take it, and then if you have more creatures, let's just run more creatures. Take that with the flyers. Yes.
So some tough decisions here with this Brainstorm, it seems. Yeah, technically the Delver decks like we're watching right now don't likely have Tamios, but the other tempo decks in the format do. Yeah, Kaplan's a longtime collector of Korean printings of cards. And I think this Brainstorm is the first Korean Brainstorm. I don't even know. I think that's what Kaplan told me. I have no idea. Scalding Tarn getting cracked here. Korean Scalding Tarn gets a Volk. I thought I thought Kaplan said I'll bolt your effing Delver, but it was the flipped Delver. Did that sound like that to you people? I was like, whoa, I never heard Kaplan talk like that before.
I mean, if you want to like test.
It sounded like it to me. I was like, whoa.
So the Brainstorm. Okay, you got
All right, Power Blast revealed. Insect Elaboration now face up on the table. Kaplan's 14 life. Might have chunks taken out of it by this Insect Elaboration. We're going to see. Roland, think about fetching with Power Blast on top. Does Dave have Holy Grail Korean Doomsdays? I have no idea. No, just don't know. Yeah, I'm with Roland. He likely does, but I just don't know. Do any of the Volk tempo decks play Tameo? Not usually. Not usually. Not that I've seen. It's more of a Demir thing. Harry says, I wish these two players spent some time and money on their decks. It's kind of embarrassing. You know what, Harry? You're right.
No, yeah.
Surgical. Targeting bolt.
Surgical targeting lightning bolts. Okay, interesting. You get to see. Oh, there was a bolt in hand. We get to see Kaplan's hand though. Daze, Murktide, Delver, Brainstorm, Pyroblast. The Pyroblast could potentially deal with the Insectile Aberration, I guess. All right, Roland revealing some of the cards in the deck. There are Corey Steel Cutters in there. We have not seen them yet in this match, have we?
Yes.
Kaplan hasn't been cutting much of anything.
How many cards do you have?
Looks like Roland's holding 2 cards in hand now.
You got these?
Yeah, I got those.
Brazen Borrower on an adventure. Insectile Aberration doing its job so far. This feels like a critical turn for Kaplan here. You can brainstorm. Let's see what happens after this brainstorm. But we do have a Pyroblast that could potentially remove Insectile Aberration. And then the Brazen Borrower gets flashed in.
I feel like I lose every game because I stumble. Like Logan said, it's so bad.
Pluto Delta gets cracked here by Kaplan. Sarnona joking Roland needs Alpha Volks. You know, a lot of the players we have playing on stream, as most of you know this already, they're playing this format for a very long time. These collections that we're seeing, you know, Roland and Dave didn't just like fill up an eBay cart 2 weeks ago and buy all these cards. You know what I mean? These cards have been owned for a very long time. Some of them took some time to acquire, etc. This is just like we're seeing long-time legacy players. It's part of what makes the watch so cool. That's right. Alpha Volks don't exist. That's right. All right. Ponder Shuffle here. I totally missed the joke on that. Or at least that part of the joke. So Ponder happening here. Shuffle, draw. Now Delver. Okay. Okay, so this turn has been played in maybe a different way than I expected. Kaplan sees the possibility of Roland attacking with both creatures here, attacking with a flip Delver. Dave's flip Delver. And then finishing Roland off with a bolt potentially. So rather than Pyroblasting a blue creature, we got a Delver on the board. There were no dazes. Oh, that's right. Kaplan doesn't have any more bolts in the deck. It got surgical. Thank you, chat. Well, still, Kaplan sees that he can present a clock here. And Roland will have to consider, well, the Delver didn't flip, so. There's a lot going on here. I did forget that the bolts were surgical, though. I did forget. My bad. Murktide. All right, we're seeing Kaplan's plan play out here. It was a little bit of a hard plan to predict for me, I guess, but 7/7 Murktide just dropped in. That's going to be a really good blocker. Kaplan is at 4. Has the Pyroblast, I think, still, right? All right, Pyroblast on the Murktide. That ends the game. Roland gets it. Really well played. GG's. We saw both players try and figure out how to win this thing. Roland came out on top this time. Well played. Well played. All right, let's set up another poll. Which match next? The options for the chat will be Izzet Cutter versus Doomsday, Mono Red Stompy versus Mystic Forge, Temur Delver, Rug Delver versus Reanimator, or Storm versus Izzet Cutter. You have 1 minute. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. Patreon. Go find the links to that. Our Discord server is up on your screen. We have a merch shop. We have a Twitch Plus program. We're trying to maintain 100 sub points. Gifted subs, prime subs do not count for this. You can see our current Plus program numbers somewhere on our Twitch channel. I believe if you're looking on desktop. Either way, if you're able to sub, help support the show. Thank you, everybody. People posting their pickups in the Discord. Close vote here. Close vote. Almost out of time. People are spending some channel points on this one, it looks like. It ends in a tie. Darth contributed 1,800 channel points. Do we want Cutter versus Doomsday or Stompy versus Mystic Forge? Do we have anyone with big-time badges in the chat that wants to weigh in on this? All right, I saw what Darth voted for. Roland's deferring to Scott. Some people hoping for Doomsday, some for Reanimator, some for Forge. Twitch chat pretty divided here. Let's see. Can I see what Scott voted for? Did Scott vote? Scott did not. Yeah, Scott didn't vote. Scott, what do we want? No pressure, Scott. Otherwise, I'm going to go with what Darth picked here. All right, Scott says Stompy. We're doing Stompy. That's it. Roland agrees. Let's do it. Diving in.
That's pretty cool.
The prices are also not bad, believe it or not, because you get a large portion.
Ah, okay, so good value.
There is good value. You just gotta know what to order.
Right, okay. 5, 6, 7, keeping this, putting in card mode.
All right, getting ready to go. Derek joins us on the left on Mono Red. Mystic Forge on the right. That would be Sam. This should be interesting. Ancient Tomb. Grim Monolith. We're not messing around.
Key. Yep. One floating, untap. Pass the turn.
Go. Shatter Skull tap.
Okay, Derek will just play a Shatter Skull tapped and then pass the turn, it sounds like.
16. Mono.
Chalice on 1 against Forge. I mean, you could cut off the keys and stuff. It's not lights out or anything.
Fourth Aerlingus X equals 1.
Okay. Play the next 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, untap, 8, 9. Kozilek's command for X equals 7. Scry 7 and draw and make 7 spawns.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
I'll go to combat. Yeah. I'll attack with the 2 others.
You have no mana flowing right now, though, right?
And this is any damage gets them up.
See, Legacy players will look at this situation. This is how Legacy players think. They'll look at this exact game we're watching right now and say, we need to ban Kozilek's command. Oh, that's just the funniest thing. We need to ban Kozilek's command.
So it's flying with tech 2.
These people are crazy, Jeff.
But no, I don't have an omniscient token. Okay, but
Kozilek's command is broken.
Turn to draw a card from under.
That card's broken. I'm cracking myself up right now. I'll stop.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
You know I'm right.
Do I reveal it? Sure.
Blood Sun, okay.
So I still lose 2 life for now.
You will still take 2 damage, however, this doesn't have all land types anymore. It's just blank. Yeah. And also, the triggers.
Right.
I'll pass to you and take this down to instant.
Okay, so I think Planar Nexus Blood Sun interaction. I got like kind of a post game judge call on that, I guess. And I think where we arrived is that Planar Nexus does still have all types under Blood Sun. A Fury is just getting cast here, pitching Simian Spirit Guide to kill a bunch of spawns. They're gone.
I'm going to go ahead and level 2.
Sure, this gets you a sorcery back.
Yeah, I will target Force.
Response to that? You're trying to flash and fill you. Okay.
So I'll get Force of Will, and then I'll draw a card from my knock.
Yes.
Force of Fill with a great question. If you exile Simian Spirit Guide to Fury, did the Fury cost 0 or a red? You know what, Force of Fill? These are like philosophical questions. For you. A little above my pay grade.
Yeah, what the hell? Oh, no, this is cooler. Okay, I agree. I'm just gonna play this.
Urz's Workshop passed the turn. I love this card. This card is so cool. I mean, it's like a card that nobody thinks of when they talk about Legacy, but it's such a good addition to the format. I know it's a very subtle addition, small addition. Earlier on today's stream, we were talking about how some people think we should ban all supplemental sets or whatever. You're going to ban Urz's Workshop? Come on.
This is just an attribute of the card. It's not an ability.
It's,
I believe these...
All right, players are discussing the interaction right now, it turns out, between Planar Nexus and Blood Sun.
Well, that's actually a good question.
I'm pretty sure this is...
I believe it removes it. Because the thing is that that's not a magic ability. And it sees it as
Yeah, so Hagel is absolutely right. Type changes are applied before adding or removing abilities. And it's like the ability, the text on the Planar Nexus that says it's every non-basic land type is kind of like not an ability. I know it's just a strange Magic the Gathering interaction thing, rules thing.
It's not going to sack.
Right. But I don't think this...
But it's not an activated ability, and it's not a triggered ability, for example. Just for example. It's like something else. For the sake of understanding how this works.
So one. I'll play an Ancient Tomb.
Okay, Ancient Tomb comes in. Don't have to sack the city here. Yeah, Sam is in the chat. Where we arrived here is that the Nexus ability is a characteristic ability and not affected by the Blood Sun. That's a good way to put it.
It removes all abilities and mana abilities.
So if that was like creature and it was a changeling,
it would remove it then because it's a. I mean, I don't know if there's a land that does that.
No, I'm just saying like that would be the equivalent of this is basically a changeling.
Unless it's a super type, then I don't. Yeah, that's an interesting interaction. Let me continue with this.
Okay, Blair's just discussing it further. It hasn't really mattered too much in this game. So Chromox is played, imprinting a Pyrogoyf.
I'm gonna take two. I'm gonna. Actually, I can't do that.
Yeah, I don't think it matters.
I'm gonna Shadow Skull for 2 to hit to the what is it? To hit 2 with the Eldrazi.
Then I'm going to pass a turn and draw 4 to the monarch.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so now it is relevant though. So let's try to figure this out.
The question is, does Blood Sun see Planar Nexus?
So I don't think that this is an ability of the card.
Okay, someone else is discussing off camera. This ends up being a pretty interesting part of this game so far. The player's trying to figure it out, get it right. They know all of you fine people are watching. They don't want to get it wrong.
Is it because of the fact that it's...
That would be catastrophic.
Naming Ryan cast a sky clean out.
Naming? Wasn't his name?
What's up, not
This is from FNM, so it's not like we have a level 7 judge besides me walking around.
Characteristic defining abilities are very specific to stuff like Tarmogoyf or like Dryad Arbor, where it says this creature.
Yeah, we don't want to have to ban Sam and Derek from the stream.
This basically, to simplify, removes layer 6.
That is true, but that shouldn't matter here because the ability is being removed.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. This is like
Blood Moon and like
I'll block my...
This is a weird interaction. Planar Nexus and Blood Sun.
Sure.
Glaring Fleshraker comes in.
Fleshraker? Trigger?
Yeah.
Another Fleshraker. Okay. This is where things get really scary. If you've been hanging out with us on stream for a while or playing some Legacy or whatever, you're aware that double Fleshraker in these Mystic Forge decks could just win the game all on their own. Yeah, Darth pointing out K command is just lethal at this point. Exactly. Have you seen that card, Kozilek's command, chat? This card is crazy.
Lelia?
Yeah.
Okay, Lelia. That's not that exciting. The Blade Reforged. It hits a City of Traders, gets its first counter.
Yeah, no blocks. Go to 11.
When I roll 2,
Signing phase, land for 2.
I think rolling 2 dice then starts to get really messed up because it's not all equal chances anymore, right? 7s are more likely.
Oh, sure.
Prismatic ending.
Chalice. Chalice for 1.
Chalice on 1. We were talking about Chalice when we started this game. It's not that big of a deal for Sam.
5. And then I'll tackle 4.
Trigger?
Yeah, take 4.
And then I'll pass a turn and draw on your...
Okay, cast a Manifold Key. Chalice gets a victim.
Oh no, yeah.
Triggers the
Yeah, that won't enter. I'll take 2 though.
the Fleshraker. Fleshrakers, plural.
Oh, wait, I do cast it. No, I do cast it, so this does trigger, so this will trigger.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I take 2 because you're getting. Oh wait.
I'm getting 2 spawns,
Yeah,
so you'll see it twice.
Yeah. So I go.
There is a Mystic Forge on the board right now.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9. Goes like command. For X is 7, you'll take 14 or 16.
All right, there's the Kozilek's command to finish game. Oh, crap. Did I have the score wrong? Oh, it's so annoying. I'll have to fix that later. All right, Sam wins game 1. Damn it.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Now I'm thinking about like. I'm really curious about what the answer is now.
At least did that small amount of work.
All right, Derek will be on the play here for game 2. More work for me later.
Maybe not. I'll keep this. Go ahead.
Scared. So we're plus the fairies.
This is 6 for the last level almost?
Yeah.
Plus 6.
Chromux. After a City of Traders. Maybe a fast start here. Imprinting a Paraglyph. Darth hoping for a turn 1 Blood Moon, and it's looks like Fable and the Mirror Breaker, making a Goblin Shaman, and then passing the turn. Urza's Workshop passed the turn.
Just things now. I'm going to go ahead and attack the 2.
I'm going to decline. Combat?
Trigger. Take 2.
Okay, attacks with the Goblin Shaman, makes a treasure.
Goes in front of it.
Fun fact, one of the shops running events here in New York City has its own leaderboard. Shout out to Hex & Co. And that's a Basalt Monolith, by the way. And Derek, I believe, is the top of the leaderboard. The winningest player. Very impressive. Broadside Bombardiers, after Reflections of Kiki Jiki arrives. City of Traders will go away.
Combat?
Yep.
Trigger?
4. Go to 12.
Here's Cauldron complete.
Segmain phase. I'll just pass.
All right, passes the turn. Broadside Bombardiers didn't sack anything that time. Derek has 2 treasures. As of right now, Sam has access to 6 mana.
Go to 10.
That's good.
The One Ring.
One Ring is good.
All right, the One Ring is good. The One Ring.
Move to combat.
Sure. Yeah.
Just waste 20
Yep. Segmain phase.
Yeah.
Can someone play the 1 of 1 One Ring on stream just once, please?
Draw card?
Yep.
Trying to cast Fellion?
All right, that's a Blood Moon. That's going to be pretty gross.
Yep. 9.
Failing results.
It's pretty bad news for Sam.
Use 1 of the mana here, so I have
Pass to
2
you.
loaded.
Step for another.
Fine, and then I'll also stop up.
Sure.
I need a land fury.
This one's stuff. Gross.
Yeah, I got to invite Post Malone to the weekly. I'll text him.
I should start by.
You know what? This might be a fake memory, but somebody told me like a long time ago that Post Malone plays Legacy. But I don't know. They might have made that up.
Mountain.
But I have no idea. I have no idea.
Flesh Raker.
Flesh Raker is fine.
Okay, Glaring Flesh Raker, Lotus Petal. Yeah, I could totally be making that up. I think somebody told me that. Like somebody reliable. And not just like some rando. Sayonara disagrees. Don't think Post plays Legacy. I don't know. I have no idea. I could totally have made that up by accident. Yeah, it might just be Commander.
4, 5, 6, 7. Close Lex command for X equals 5. Make 5 spawns, 86. And scry 5 and draw.
Sure, I take.
Okay, big time Kozilek's Command again with Flush Raker on the table.
Yeah, 4 for that.
Yeah, I probably just accidentally started a rumor, right?
Take 1. Sorry, thank you.
I'm gonna go to 11.
Manifold Key. Maybe a number was wrong on the scry there.
I'm gonna start trying to equip the Phantom Blade on Stoneforge.
Sayonara pointing out if Derek untaps, it's GG.
I'm gonna swing it at Temur.
Sure.
The 2/2 with menace.
Untapping the ring, drawing 3 cards. Twitch chat seems to think Sam needs to win this turn. Blood Moon is affecting things here for sure.
Force a will, I'll exile a Lord Reveal.
It was a little late to the party, though.
Take 1, 2.
Should wait? Shouldn't you have to pay 1 more?
Oh, sorry, I was already counting this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this will go to 2. This
Yeah,
is on
and
the
then
stack.
Okay, casting a second Flush Raker. We saw how nuts that can be.
I was at 11. And then
So it'd be 1, 2.
Sanctuary?
So take 1 from the Flush Raker.
Yep. Oh, I see. Yep.
I'll target 4th Allegiance.
Flush Raker.
Oof, a third one now?
Yeah, so then I take 2 more, I go to 7.
So you'll take. So this will be on the stack, right? Using all of this.
Yep.
You take 4 here, because these will each see 1 enter, right? So making 2 spawns here.
So then I go to, because I was at 9, then I'm going to go to 5.
5. Then you go to 1,
And I'll trigger powers.
because this is this enter,
12,
right?
14, you got it.
Can you cast it when another? No, I will go to 2. Because 1, 2, 3, and this already happened.
Okay, sure.
Yep. I'm going to triple check it. I want to make sure everything is good. Yeah. Whenever another enters.
I've lost track.
Right. Well,
Yeah, so then I should be at 3. From the math of it. Because those already happened that enters. This, there should be 3.
I had you at 9, right?
I was at 9.
Right. So 9. These will enter.
Yep.
You take 4. Go to
Yep.
5.
I'm going to go to 5.
And then this.
Get out your calculator.
Go to 7. I'll take the cast them 3. You take 9 here. Make
Wait,
3
how much mana did you? Oh, I see.
I had 2 here and these 2 here.
So you had 2 there. So then, well, remember that's a mountain.
Okay, that's fine. Sorry, don't mean to
Yeah.
slow roll.
No, you're good. Oh yeah, that works.
Okay.
Yep, good game.
Good games.
All right. We did it. Sam gets the match. GG's. Well played. Mystic Forge, everybody. Mystic Forge. That was we got there. Yeah, triple Flush Raker. Let's have another poll for the chat, shall we? Which match next? Your options will be Izzet Cutter versus Doomsday. Temur Delver versus Reanimator. Doomsday versus Demir Tempo. Storm versus Izzet Cutter. Or Golgari versus Reanimator. You have 1 minute. Get your votes in. Some people liking the Eldrazi. Some people not. So funny to me, though, is like that first turn of the game where Sam, or second turn of the game, whatever it was, where Sam had like 1 million mana. And then cast Cold's Command. For me, that stuff is just like perfect. It's perfect. All right. Poll happening right now in the chat. Which match next? It is up to you, people of the chat. Discord up on your screen. Join our Patreon. Join our coffee page. Go check out our merch shop. Sub to our Twitch channel. Hit join on YouTube. Help us grow this thing. Almost out of time on the poll. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel as well. That's free. Almost out of time. Close vote. Temur Delver versus Reanimator up next. Storm contributed 1,950 channel points. Let's do it. Let's do it. Diving in.
You could be playing Underground Sea Enforcer. I know. Oh, will I? Probably not. One day. When Grixis Delver is good again. When Grixis Delver is good, and I'll play Underground Sea. But I was always play my Volcanics.
I play my Volcanics sometimes. I play them in Vintage.
All right, Roland is back after not appearing on stream for a very long time with Temur Delver. And on the left, we have Adam on Reanimator.
Yeah. What a pain in the ass. All right. I'll be on the play. Good luck.
Good luck to you, my friend. I love playing Magic with you.
Wow, player is very, very nice. Roland MTG in the chat says Volk Life. Volk Life.
Keep.
Me too.
Both players keeping 7. Snap keeping almost. Ready to go. Volcanic Island. Delver of Secrets.
I'll fetch basic armor and cast it.
That is good.
Okay, turn 1 Pawner for Adam. Look at some cards. Shuffle. Look at some cards. Tempo.
Keep them on top. Receive.
Looks like a daze was drawn there. Could come in handy. Passes it back to Roland. Are we going to flip this thing? Trying to. Maybe with a brainstorm. Are we dazing that? Oh boy.
I'll attempt to daze.
It gets dazed. Delver will not flip.
Flip.
It does. It just won't do anything. Yeah.
Take it, Roland.
18.
I remember someone asking like what is vision. I'm fetching a response.
Looks like Adam just drew a Reanimate. Has a polluted Delta this time. Damn. Daze on top. Adam can't believe it. Insectile Aberration.
I'll fetch basic swamp and cast Entomb.
Entomb. Before the daze gets drawn here. Still on the top of the deck. Revealed. Roland MTG in the chat says, fun story. Adam picked me up from Monday Night Legacy a couple of weeks ago after I claimed to be too exhausted from SCG Con Hartford. He's a stud and a good human being. There you go. There you go. Atraxa into the yard with the Entomb.
Oh, you're still thinking about it. Shuffling it away.
All right, Roland's going to shuffle away that daze now. Now that Atraxa's already in the graveyard. We have other priorities, I guess. We know Adam has the Reanimate in hand.
Okay, there you go. for the turn. Wasteland. Swing 14. I'll pass the turn to.
Right, Insectile Aberration gets in. Stephen with a great question. What's up with Eddie the intern? Did he get promoted? Eddie is still in the internship. But Eddie is no longer in New York City. So Force of Will, pitching Murktide.
Brainstorm.
Sure. Brainstorm in response to the Force on Reanimate. Didn't look like we drew any counter magic there.
Force is going to resolve. I have to think about what I'm putting back.
All right, so it appears that Reanimate has been countered. Just thinking about which cards to put on top of the deck with Brainstorm. Trax is going to sit in the trash a while longer.
Go.
With cards like Reanimate, the Brazen Borrower getting flashed in. Okay. Aggro. I don't know about you, chat, but I'm feeling the tempo right now. There's a lot of tempo happening here. A thing that we definitely know what it is, right?
Draw during FP. Yep. 1 second before you're done. Yep. Full targeting. Full targeting.
Okay, bolt on Adam's draw step, on Adam's upkeep before draw step. This kind of shuts off Reanimate. Adam's saying I'm dead now, but trying to figure it out.
Double bolt. That was really good.
That was really good.
I guess this is my only hope. Yep. Animate Dead will do it too. Yep, that's my only hope, and I only play one. Yeah, I'm dead. Okay.
Okay, Roland takes game 1. Tempo. Roland's jamming those lightning bolts in the chat again.
How do you know? Yeah.
Okay, it sounds like Adam has kept a 7 here. Roland has taken a mulligan to 6. We'll see. Thinking about it. Okay, 1 card moves to the bottom of Roland's deck. Scalding Tarn. Tameo. We were talking about Tameo earlier. Yeah, Roland's been winning with double bolt a couple of times on today's stream, hasn't he? Deck check. Yeah, Roland. We got to check Roland for Mark's sleeve. That's a good idea.
She gone. Sorry.
Tameo down. Bolted it. Those lightning bolts are putting in work. Okay, Wasteland. That might have been a big Wasteland if you played these tempo-y matchups before. Sometimes you just lose because of a Wasteland. If you're rooting for Roland, we hope Roland has more land. No land. See what I mean? Underground Sea, pass it back. Roland counting cards for end step. Appears to be holding 7. Bowmaster flashes in. Ouch.
I thought you were on No, I figured you were right.
Okay, hits Roland for 2. Undercity Sewer, Surveil. Archon of Cruelty into the graveyard. Ouch. Reanimate an Archon of Cruelty.
Take 8, but
It's going to come in.
So take 5. You discard, I draw. Discarding.
Archon of Cruelty now on the board.
I'll shuffle.
Ponder shuffle here for Adam. Roland, obviously in really bad shape here. Is there any way that Roland can win this game?
Does it happen often? Like you get a creature that you want to like.
Seems like such a low likelihood.
Discard. Oh no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. Go ahead.
Again, I'm not angry at you.
Roland with no land drop.
Combat. What was that? It's 9, 10, 11 damage. You discard, I gain 3, I draw.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
Roland discards a Daze. That's not going to be very good right now. Down to 3 life. Murktide. Roland's going to untap and be like, LED, that's Storm 1. And just win the game.
New York City is pretty. It's competitive.
Sure. The brave little guy. All right.
Okay, that is the game. Going to game 3. Roland will be on the play here for game 3. I see an Atraxa in Adam's hand, it looks like. People calling for bans of Wasteland now in the chat. Yeah, the format is just falling apart. They didn't test Wasteland for 1v1.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll keep. I'll keep as well.
Roland on the play. When is Wizards of the Coast going to admit that the Tempest set was a mistake? It should just be made a supplemental set and banned. It was an unset. They didn't even test Wasteland.
It's the sign of a man in fear.
All right, after getting wasted out of that game, we see a basic island from Roland. Adam smells fear.
Smacks me out of nowhere. I was like, oh, okay. Guess you're doing that. Cage. Cage. Is that it?
Okay, Grafdigger's Cage, that's not too bad.
Go.
Sayonara calling for an unban of Strip Mine. You know what?
I'm sad about this game.
F it.
I know, I'm sad about it too.
Do it. See if I care.
Stuff in your graveyard now. What'd you say?
I can handle Strip Mine. Can you?
It's a little DRC. DRC, you're really doing it. DRC. Yeah, you can have that.
Okay, Dragon's Rage Channeler is in. Both players having fun, it seems. Both players having fun.
Still got Lantern. Surveil triggers? Surveil triggers good. Surveil triggers.
Okay, more insurance here for Roland with a Soul Guide Lantern. Roland with Cage and Lantern. Throw an Urza Saga in the deck, Roland.
There you go.
Might as well.
It's a sign of a man.
couple years back, I was playing. We were talking about me playing tempo decks in Legacy. The last tempo deck I played on a regular basis was Jeskai Ragavan with Urza's Saga, Stifle. Ragavan obviously was in there. DRC. I loved that deck, chat. And then you people banned it.
Good. Black blue mana. Full brainstorm.
Damn you all. Expressive Iteration. Another card I really liked.
Good.
Screw this game, I quit. Traxa dumped into the yard by Undercity Sewers. Okay, getting a taste of his own medicine here. Wasteland on the Undercity Sewer. Grafdigger's Cage remains on the board. Bolt you, Surveil. Yeah, I did play initiative decks. And yeah, they're very tempo-y, I think.
One.
It was initiative tempo. Dragon's Maze Chandler hits for 1. Voodoo says we should unban White Plume.
Sure.
Here's Tamio.
Targeting Cameo, Surveil trigger.
Now bolting Tamio, surveilling. Has mana to pay for days. Tamio's in trouble here. Things going well for Roland so far here. Those lightning bolts are putting in work.
Attack for 1. 14. Go ahead. 2 cards? 2 cards.
Yeah. Also, on the battlefield.
Yep.
Another Undercity Sewer, Surveil. Entomb into the graveyard. Traxa stuck in the trash for now as long as Grafdigger's Cage sticks around.
Ponder, Surveil trigger. Yep.
Ponder, Surveil. As Adam's life total lowers, Reanimate gets worse, as most of you know.
Ponder 1, 2, 3.
I see a Reanimate in Adam's hand. It's looking pretty bad at the moment.
Delirious now? Yep. 2, 3. 1, 2.
Delirious, stacking for 3.
3 cards? 3 cards.
Okay, another Tamio. 3 cards in Roland's hand. It resolves. Does Reanimator only play Borrow as an answer to Cage? I mean, there are the other win cons and stuff like Bowmaster and Murktide and whatever. As far as the Cage, yeah, it's likely there's just Brazen Borrower, maybe. I feel like there's something else. I don't know.
Good night, everybody. Sorry about that.
I'll get it later. I'll go into attacks. 3.
No blocks. Not blocking with Tamio. Adam drops to 8, so life total getting a bit low even if we get rid of the Cage to Reanimate. Yeah, there could potentially be an Engineered Explosives or something like that.
Sure.
We're running out of time with this DRC. Tanking with Tamio. Making a clue.
I'll pop it. Yeah.
Cracking clue, that happens. Draws a Brainstorm. Good old brainstorm.
So once I had the ball off though, then I was gonna start sending it. That's why.
All right, Roland with the Tameo on the board. In response to a brainstorm, going to Unholy Heat Tameo. Leaves a card on top, it looked like. Which is a bad sign for Adam, I guess. I think I just saw Brazen Borrower get drawn here. But now we're really low on life. Darth also saw a Fatal Push. That could help. That could help. We could see Adam stabilize here.
I'll attempt to push the dragon this channel.
Going after the Channeler now with Fatal Push.
Go ahead.
It gets dazed. Roland left the card on top with Surveil. Wondering what that was. Tanking with Dragon's Rage Channeler. Adam goes to 4. Was it too risky to Fatal Push into daze there? Oh, man. I guess needed that Fatal Push, and then... Ah, it's tough. Yeah, 2 bolts are already gone. It might have been worth it to just wait a little bit for the Fatal Push. And now I guess we have the potential play of Petty Theft on Dragon's Rage Channeler, or Petty Theft Cage, Flash in Brazen Borrower, block. Daze is gone.
Try and bounce the DRC.
Okay, just going to bounce DRC with Petty Theft.
Cards in?
4 cards in Adam's hand. Another fetch or a force could put Adam back into bolt range. Potentially. This is Petty Theft targeting Dragon's Rage Channeler. That's going to happen. Brazen Borrower goes on an adventure.
Second main. Yep.
Okay, second main, of course, replaying the DRC. Passes the turn. Entomb.
Cards in? 3. Sure.
So Brazen Borrower could later flash in and block. That's an option we have. Don't think we know any cards in Roland's hand, but I don't remember. Roland in the chat says the Entomb felt like bait. Yeah, I'm not sure what exciting cards are going to get entombed here. All right, Barrowglyph into the graveyard. Just drew an Animate Dead, did Adam. I just saw an Animate Dead in hand. That could be huge here. The cage is still on the table, but it could be huge.
On your off.
As far as the life totals and reanimate and the whole thing. Upkeep, flashing, and Brazen Borrower. Animate Dead can't be used yet. Keep that in mind. But if we get rid of cage somehow, Animate Dead could be huge.
Cards, you have 4.
4 cards in Adam's hand. Brazen Borrower will definitely be blocking this Dragon's Rage Channeler. Is my guess. It has to attack.
Yep.
Roland could do something funky like play a Murktide Shut Off Delirium.
Yep.
Power Blast, Surveil. Okay. Could also do that. Brazen Borrower shot down. Power Blast into the yard. Attack with DRC. Alright, it looks like what we need is just to get rid of Cage and then animate dead, and that is not going to happen. Oof. Roland had the force. GG's, well played. Roland gets the match. Did they test Dragon's Rage Channeler for 1v1? Does anybody know? There's the handshake. There it is. Does this card seem playable? Honestly, don't know. Maybe. Maybe. Okay. Stick around for a raid, everybody. Stick around for a raid. That wraps it up for me for this week. I'll see everybody soon. Have a good weekend. Get ready for Final Fantasy. It's coming soon. Peace out.